Okay, so here's my Purpleheart that I actually used on the 125 demo. I only did this side of the 125 with the intention of doing this side with the 150. This side here has a little bit of a divot in there. The reason I wanted to do the 150 with this is I have a couple lower grits than I do for the 125. So we can see how this demo goes. The sander itself, again, connects to the D27 hose and the plug-it cable. Now the Rotexes tend to be able to take the vacuum on full suction, so you can put it straight over to hair instead of turtle. You don't need to turn it down like you do with, say, the DTS 400 or the ETS sanders. And, well, I guess let's go. I'm going to start with some 50 grit since I've got it. And we can, I'm also using the hard pad because I want to keep this thing flat. This is actually a good example of what would happen if I used a soft pad. In fact, let me do that as a sample here. I'm going to take some chalk. I'm going to go across this, and I'm going to use the hard pad initially. I want you to see how it's not going to go into any of the recesses, and then I'm going to switch to the soft pad so you can see how that changes. That's on speed 1. That's at 6, high speed. So that didn't take long to eliminate my chalk, but you should be able to see that there's a smooth line here and a smooth line there because there's a dig in there and a dig in there. This is straight off of a bandsaw mill. Now let me switch to the soft pad. Now with the soft pad. It may not be really clear, and part of this might also be because I did the first pass already, but there's a lot of sanding actually done down into these ridges here. It's reached down because of the softness of the pad that it's actually able to flex into that. If you're at a higher speed and you don't press real hard, you won't get that quite as much, but that's just a point that I'm trying to make about that the hard pad I think is superior when you're on the lower grits and especially trying to flatten something. So let me switch back to the hard pad and we'll get through the grits on this side. Okay, I'm going to use the alternate handle for this one here just so that, because I prefer it, and then you'll get to see how it works. There we go. Feels warm too. But it's flat. Now, I mean, there is a hump here where the tape is because this side here has been sanded and this side's been sanded, but not the hump. But otherwise, this part here is nice and flat. Now, whenever you go off the edge, you're always going to get a little bit of dust. But that's it. In a way, those are just chips. All the rest of it, though, I mean, I've just been wiping my hand on it, and you can see, basically, there's nothing there. So that was at 50 grit. Let's go through 80 quickly, and then we're still in disc mode, and work our way up. $120. Feeling nice and smooth now. That's a nice big difference there. And we're still in disc mode, so actually this is not the nicest finish that you can get. So I'm going to go and use 180 actually, and in disc mode still, and then we're going to switch to random orbit. Did you see that? That was me. Oops, actually I was out of the camera, sorry. That's in disc mode. Now we're in random orbit mode. So let's go. It's not how you would sand, but I wanted to show how well, if you just tip the back up barely, it'll just skate on there. And with the vacuum, it's actually pulling it down, and you're going to get actually a pretty good finish just doing it that way if you want to be lazy. .220 at random orbit. Some freeform. This side here, I did up to 180 with random orbit with the Rotex 125. That's because it's as high as grid as I have available with me right here. This feels alright. This one here, literally, feels like glass. Going up to 320. And each one of those steps, I didn't really go very long. I probably went a little longer than I really needed to on a few of them, but it's very quick to do. I do highly recommend the hard pad. I think you're going to find that it's going to give you the best results. And hopefully that little demo at the beginning where there were a couple of really good digs from the bandsaw mill helped show you that. Alright, thank you.